Cafe. Anyway.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Welcome to Mike's Daily Podcast. Somewhere in Podcastro Valley Cafe, anyway, the last place on earth.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
It's 2581. Did you listen to the last podcast? It was about how the rules in this world don't last because people make up their own rules and do strange things, like jump the turnstiles at places that take you other places on a train. Like
Mike's Daily Podcast.
BART, for example. In the Bay Area rapid transit places, people are
Mike's
not paying.
Daily
So
Podcast.
nobody gets caught.
Yeah!
I did actually see, wait a minute, back in the days when I was riding BART all the time, I remember somebody walked right through that door, that escape door. That's for escape, like a fire escape. Like in case of fire, you go through this door to safety, an emergency exit. And she went right through it, and there was a cop there. And she said, "Oh, I didn't know. I didn't see it. I don't know what you're doing." And then the cop wrote her a ticket. That's the only time I've ever seen anyone get busted on BART. But that was my complaint last podcast, and I guess I will steer away from that. But I got this interesting little bit of news today that the broadest measure of, and this is a word I didn't know, underutilization, labor underutilization. It is called U6. It includes the unemployed, workers employed part-time for economic reasons, and the marginally attached to the labor force. This was 8.6% in California. The U.S. average was 6.9%. So 2 points more here in America of people, in California, here in America, of labor underutilization.
And here's today's podcast picture.
It's an underutilized podcast picture that I'm going to share with you today. So I got this email from the wonderful folks there at the Bureau of Labor Statistics. And apparently California in 2002 had over 800,000 unemployed residents. And then there was another 6,700 or so that were employed part-time for economic reasons, also known as involuntary part-time. Interesting. The late great Basil the Boxer. He was my full-time dog. He wanted to be my dog all the time, and so he was full-time, and I was his owner full-time, and it was some fun times full-time. But yes, that's involuntary part-time. These people want to be full-time, but they can't because of some stupid reason or another. I got someone that's working for me right now. I want to make them full-time. I can't at the moment. But as soon as I can, I will. You betcha. Does anyone use that expression anymore? I guess I just did. How about another great podcast picture of the lovely sunset yesterday and more? I don't know. I may not go with this podcast picture. I'm going to go back to a more pleasant time weather-wise. I'm going to go back to sometime at this point of the year in California, back when we were still in La Nina. La Nina apparently is over. Yay! It's all El Nino now. Boo! So, yes, welcome to that, your El Nino world. But yes, I'm going to post a podcast picture from my past, from this time of year, sometime in the past. See it at MikesDailyPodcast.com. It'll be very enjoyable. You'll want to share it with your friends, and you'll go, wow, I've never seen a digital picture before in my life. This is amazing. What are we on the cusp of? A whole new revolution in technology. So I guess there were 53,800 discouraged workers that did not look for work during the 4 weeks preceding the survey because they believed no jobs were available to them. And there we go. Thank you, U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. So I guess the average rates for this type of part-time working, it went from, well, it continually declined from 2012 to 2019, then suddenly jumped up in 2020. And it's been slowly declining ever since, the amount of unemployment. So, there, take with that what you will. And there's more there at the Bureau of Labor Statistics website. So, what else? Mike Matthews is now part of IMDb. That's that wonderful, it's an independent movie, digital base, something like that. And I am in it now with MikesDailyPodcast.com because somebody added Mike's Daily Podcast to IMDb. And it was not me. I think it was someone from Norway. So thank you, I guess. And I am still seeing episodes being posted onto IMDb. However, there was no actual picture for Mike's Daily Podcast. So I went ahead and uploaded the logo that I have for the show to it. And to do it, I had to join IMDb. So I'm in there as Mike's Daily Podcast, not as Mike Matthews. But yes, that's a whole new world. And I also want to help out my dad, my late father, and post his picture in there because he is mentioned in IMDb. He worked in the movie business for a long time. And he's got a little mention in there. And I would like to put a picture of him in there to honor him. But it's telling me I'm going to have to pay some bucks to do that. So we'll do that at some point. But so the Fed did hint that its inflation fighting tightening campaign could be nearing the end. It's been raising interest rates now. I think today or yesterday was the 9th time they did it.
Anyway,
as we go outside a cafe anyway, we're bringing Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley, the last place on earth. Ford's electric vehicle business lost $2 billion last year, but they had $10 billion worth of profits in their legacy unit, in their legacy units that they have. And Coinbase was warned by the SEC, the Security Exchange Commission, of having potential securities charges. They might be getting charges for violations. Coinbase. And there's me in my 50s once again saying something that I don't talk about digital currency too much, but it just does seem a bit. Everybody I've spoken to, except for the crazy, wild-eyed, hey, you could make all kinds of money, Mike. And they're usually really young, and I don't trust them. But hey, maybe they're laughing all the way to the bank with their digital money in their digital bank that's going to have to be bailed out. Moderna is preparing to shift its vaccine to commercial distribution. There was some talk about this in Congress yesterday. Moderna apparently is going to charge people a lot of money to get the vaccine. On the free market, a shot will be priced at roughly 130% of the country is insured, so likely no cost. The other 10% likely qualify for free shots. And that might cause some insurance company issues. We'll see. I'm not sure exactly all about what's going on with that, but yeah, it seems like they're going for a money grab. TikTok, they also had hearings today at Congress. And, oh, great. Now I'm getting texts late in the evening when I don't need it. Okay. No, everything was fine. There we go. I texted somebody. because they decided to text me during my podcast. And you can text me or call me at this number, 510-228-4640. 510, because we are in the 510 area code where it is rainy at the moment. 228-4640. So the TikTok chief executive officer was asked a lot of questions today. Some politicians were saying this executive officer did a amazing job skirting the issues as much as possible and passing it along, passing the buck, changing the topic. The stakes couldn't get higher for TikTok or the 150 million Americans who use it. But at the end of the day, it seems like the 150 million Americans who use it didn't get anything out of this. I don't even use TikTok, so I don't care. Last week, a sale or ban decree was handed down by the Biden White House. Don't forget that Donald Trump wanted to get rid of it too. TikTok could be used as a secret disinformation tool by Beijing, thinks the Biden White House, and probably also the Donald Trump White House at one point. It's likely much of the focus of today's hearings was at the app's data security practices. TikTok is caught up in the explosive popularity of social media tracking closely with a rising youth mental health crisis. Yes, it's too much. It's too much for the youth of America to deal with it. And a lot of people are upset because they're like, China is ruining my kids. Well, Utah passed some laws today about kids using social media and saying that they need to, well, they also passed a curfew for people under a certain age, and they are also just, I heard a cat, did you? So all in all, the pendulum is swinging back. Now, for years, we didn't pay much attention to social media and how it affects our kids, and now we are. Now that it's all on the line. And it'll be interesting at the end of the year if TikTok is even still being allowed in America. And somebody who I produce his podcast, Rob Black, he wrote this. He said, the majority of American teens use TikTok on a daily basis. And Rob Black, who does a money show, Rob Black and Your Money, he says, TikTok's remarkable and mysterious algorithm is optimized for engagement, not safety. And its main objective is to keep users glued to the screen for as long as possible. Basically, every rule of thumb that people in TV have used for years to try and keep you glued so that you won't go away, they are doing it in TikTok, in that one app. One teenage girl said she searched for sports content on TikTok when she was 12 and wound up being shown videos about excessive exercise and advice to make your legs skinnier. She was hospitalized with anorexia the day after her 13th birthday with a dangerously low resting heart rate. And you've, I'm sure, heard more and more about that. I did catch on the podcast called On the Media, they were criticizing how the media is always talking about, oh, did you hear the latest TikTok challenge? TikTok's got a new challenge. They want you to drive your car straight into a tree and all kinds of crazy nut stuff that dates back to when people were doing the ice bucket challenge on Facebook. But they dug more deeply into these challenges, these TikTok challenges, and a lot of them were just overblown. Outside a cafe anyway, somewhere in Podcaster Valley, the last place on earth, look who's here.
Hello, my name is Chely Shoehart, gift shop supervisor. I got some more St. Patrick's Day snow globes that I'm trying to sell, Mike Matthews.
Ah, St. Patrick's Day snow globes with the little shamrocks, and they're all inside instead of snow.
Yes, Mike Matthews, it's awesome. Do you want one?
Yeah, sure. I'd like to buy 50 of them.
Huh? What? I didn't hear what you say, because I'm totally engrossed in TikTok. Magnification. And the TikTok app, Mike Matthews.
You know, Chinese soldiers in the Chinese Communist Party are watching you watching that right now. Right now. They're doing that now.
Oh, yeah, I kind of see him. Mike Matthews, I'm going to make a snow globe about him.
Okay. No. Wait, she just walked away. Look who else is here. Oh, Mike, this is Floyd the Floorman. And this is John Deere, the engineer, Mike. I think there is the capability of any app that's made in China that they could be watching us. What kind of phone do you have? Well, I don't think it's a Chinese phone. Well, they're watching you right now. Uh-oh. That's what I always feel like. Somebody's watching me. That's why I bought my phone from a guy named Maxwell. Huh, I don't get it. Rockwell, I mean. Not Max. Rockwell was the one that did Somebody's Watching Me. Wow. How did I lose that one from the 80s? I forget. Michael Jackson sings on the chorus. Next show, it's going to be the wonderful Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, and the Brewmaster. Tell me what you think about anything we covered today. 510-228-4640. I have to run because I think there's a cat out here that needs to be fed. And with more ways to reach me, it's A-Frame.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MikesDailyPodcast.com. Email Mike now at MikesDailyPodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!